We're back, homie. It's good.
It feels good to be back, man. It feels good to be back, man. The Reminisce Show, man, live here. Mindbender, logical ethics, man. Logic 416, man. We just out here doing our thing, man. And yes, took a little break. Last week we did not have our live because it was my birthday and there was some other stuff going on, and I really spent it low key. So I appreciate those who've been following us and just showing mad love, and it was great, man. Having my solar return and just to be able to like reflect and just be grateful for another year. So much things have happened in the past couple months, year, and just nonstop things. You know what I mean, of tragic events, and for me to still be here, living life, enjoying it, man. Like as you always say, man, I'm living my best life, man.
Yeah, word, man. Yeah, just
So,
gotta try to make paradise.
we have to, man, and more than ever, like we got to be intentional about like what we're creating. It's we have that opportunity to really create our own paradise. Like we can experience hell on earth or we can experience heaven.
Yo,
I mean?
it's so real, man. Yo, I want to scream it louder and louder every day, man. Peace to people's religions, but it's like, yo, man, if your religion's not giving you joy on earth here and now, and you're just always looking at like what happens after you die, what's the point? I mean, we're here sharing our time with each other right now. Might as well make it as good as possible. But I'm happy that you had a good birthday, man.
Yeah, just to add on what you're saying, just remind me of that saying, like, yo, your check's in the mail. Don't worry about your check's in the mail.
Yes, straight up. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, for real. And yo, one of my I actually really quickly, man. I had to big up. I was talking online to Bernice King. I wasn't talking to Bernice King, but Martin Luther King's daughter put out something a day ago, and I put a little addition onto it, and it's kind of been gaining some traction online because she's like, yo, check out the stuff that my dad was talking about, and people never want to talk about this stuff. And Martin Luther King was talking about economic reform. Where's our money? Like he was talking about land reform and how like, yo, how come the government gave all the white people a bunch of land and a bunch of money? And it's like, he's like, yo, we need money. Like he's like all spiritual and stuff, but he's like, this is injustice has to do with cash, money, property, and like, and so he's just like, so what I said is, I said under her comment, I go, the part of the I have a dream speech that nobody talks about. Nobody is the earlier part of the speech is when he's talking hard physical politics, like America's a land of prosperity. Black people have not enjoyed that prosperity, economically or through justice. So what the fuck? We're and he says we are here to cash a check. We are here to claim the check because America has been bankrupt for giving money and justice to the black man. He literally is saying, he's like, we want money. He's like, the Walsh money, we are owed money. And he's talking about that. But then, and then later on, he's like, I have a dream that we can all be together and all that stuff. And people always talk about the dream part. That's all pie in the sky. It's like, what about when he was like, fuck you, pay me? They cut that part of the speech out. And I'm like, no, listen to the whole speech.
It's so important that we highlight these aspects, you know what I mean? Because when you think of like Martin Luther King, they always try to like put them like, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, like those are the two options, two extremes. But both of them have very similar personality. Like there's different times, where they were kind of like speaking the same thing and kind of swapping positions, if you will.
100%.
And with Martin Luther King, like a lot of stuff he's talking about, again, paying the reparations and giving like real, like sustainable methods of healing some of the atrocities that have been going on for centuries and whatnot. Like that. That's a very important message, right? Because you're really bringing it home. I mean, it's cool to have like a speech. It's cool to like do things of that nature. But like what he was really talking about was like real change. I mean, it's great speeches and marching or whatever, but no, how do we change policy? How do we really get into it? You know what I mean? So.
For real. Yeah, you said it. And thanks to our guest, Guaranteed economic reform. That's exactly it. Because I mean, one of the things that people never talk about is when slavery ended, they gave the slave owners a whole bunch of land and money because they're like, oh, you're losing your slaves, so we gotta give you this money. It's so bad for you, and it's like, what about the slaves? They didn't get no boat back to Africa, no land back to Africa, and they didn't get shit here either. So
yeah, man, still waiting for that 40 acres and a mule, man. I don't know what happened to that.
Straight up.
I guess that's in the mail as well.
You said it. Yo, man, you nailed it, man. But it brings us to today.
Yes. And today, speaking of which today, man, how are you doing though, man?
I'm doing okay, man. I'm doing okay. Yeah. Like we said last week, like there's a part of me that's been, I can officially say, like kind of depressed and like officially depressed. It's been obviously one of the worst years of anybody's and everybody's life, and ever since Chadwick Boseman died, it's just there's a part of me I've been really having to work on to just be normally happy and optimistic like I usually am. But you know, I'm better this week than last week, and I've been exercising. Got my SFA tank top, and I've been pumping some weights. I've been trying to get my 50 cent on and just like
get through the
stress.
No, I'm gonna get you that SFA care package. You know what I mean? Because I know the weather's getting a little cold, so we need some long sleeves. You know, I got my long sleeve right now. You know,
no doubt.
But you know, the hoodies and all that. You know what I mean too? Because I want to make sure, like, you know, you keep warm in this diasporic like weather. You know what I mean?
No doubt. I would love it. I'll rock it.
Yeah, man, that's peace, man. Well, I like what you mentioned about working out and working out. I mean, I don't like work out per se. Like, you know, I don't go to the gym like that. But my thing is running. And anytime like I'm feeling like I'm in a mental funk and like, you know, depressed or anxiety or just you know what I mean, just that storm, that mental storm. You know, like running is my way of just like releasing all that. I get my thoughts in order and I figure out solutions. And usually by the time I do that physical like exercise, like I feel a little better, a little more harmonized within my being, you know? So I think it's important that we all have those outlets. Us as artists, you know, there's always the creative expression of music as well, which is a way of getting like those emotions out and just things that we're going through and helping to like sort out these ideas, thoughts and feelings, you know? So it's so important to have like healthy ways because, you know, if you don't have healthy ways, it could, you know, you can find destructive ways, you know what I mean? So, and that's usually the easiest.
You said it right there. You said it all right there because I was usually just smoking my way through sadness and that never helps. It doesn't really.
No, it never does, man.
It just numbs things. And I finally reached the point where I love you hip hop, but you lied to me about how much weed I need in my life. So, and like I've been cutting back, and instead of just smoking through stress, I've been working out through stress and trying to be creative, drawing, and I even just, you know, call my family and shit. So, but yo, man, like it's been a wild week, man. Like there's been a few
some interesting things, even some new updates too. That we'll get into a little bit, but. I know right off the top, we were talking earlier and you mentioned about, you know, Kanye. Kanye took to Twitter and he was saying a lot.
A lot.
I know, you know, some things like he was, I guess, like upset about Drake and J. Cole. I'm not sure what was going on with J. Cole, though, but, you know, he was saying that he demands like an apology, a public apology from them. And then he was saying some other stuff like what he was like Moses or Jesus or I can't remember what he said like or I can't remember what it was, but like he was comparing him to some you know historic figure of influence, of significance, you know. So I guess you can get into it, man, because you know you've been riding with Kanye through all of the storm and really showing unconditional love and empathy, really rooting for him, man. Like I feel you, you know. So I'm really curious to hear like your perspectives and how you're feeling with some of these new chain of events.
I've never supported an artist more than Kanye West in the last 15, 20 years of my life, and to see what he's become, my like it was the Harriet Tubman article. The comment was Oh my goodness, that was straw that broke the camel's back. And then like the year before, the slavery comment, and then he had another comment that a lot of people didn't bring up, but when he said Martin and Malcolm aren't that relevant right now. And he said that on CNN, and I was like, this dude is killing me. My
on CNN too, out of all.
On CNN, he said, I'm like, dog, what are you talking about? This is the most ridiculous thing ever. But what he had said, firstly, to answer your question, when he brought up J. Cole, I think he's talking about the song False Prophets. That
yes, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised Kanye's still feeling that, because it's one of the greatest subliminal disses in hip hop history. And J. Cole really read him to filth, took him to church, broke down every shady thing about Kanye's ego, and put it in a song perfectly. And Kanye never responded. Yeah. So it's like pretty funny to see that it's
been sitting with that. There's a lot of things that he hasn't healed from, and he's sitting with it and dealing with that. And I don't know. I feel with that the whole situation, I feel like J. Cole's the type of guy like he could have called and just politicked about that, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. Big up Maria, man. Big up
yeah. Like it. Sorry.
We got to, man. We gotta. Yeah. Hell yeah.
So proud of it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. All day SFA, man. You know, people thought it's just a name. No, it really is all day.
All day, every day. Up, that's it. But yeah, I mean, that's what it really comes down to. Like, like Kanye feeling a ways in his spirit, catching feelings in his soul from people calling him out and not accepting various fuckery things that he's done. But I think the Drake thing is also a little bit about still Kim having sex with Drake at one point. And
well, wait, is that like official though? Like, or is that like speculate? You know what I mean? Like,
see, I want to say that it's about as official as possibly can be, because one of the main reasons why I say that I definitely believe it's real. Besides the lyrics to whatever mode, sicko mode or whatever, he's driving down the street, take a left. Like he talks about driving to somebody's house to have kind of late night creepy sex, and Drake literally lives down the street. He says, drive down the street, take a left. And when you break out the map of Kanye and Drake's house in Calabasas, that's literally the directions from Drake's to Kanye's. And he's talking, and Kanye was in the mental health ward at that time. Kim was at home, and it's just, and it literally it breaks down to be like, he's like, drive down the streets, take a left, cut the lights low, creep inside, have sex, and then I'm out. And like that's kind of like what he's saying in the song. And it's like, yo, dog.
I gotta take in that song again and hear it, because I do remember about like that line, like took a left and a right, like cut the lights or whatever. Like I remember that line, but like I have to hear it back again to really go in.
And somebody breaks, they literally have the map. They're like, on this map, this is how to drive from Kanye's to from Drake's to Kanye's and Kim's. And then I mean the Kiki, do you love me? And like literally the other Kardashian sisters call Kim Kiki. That's a nickname. So like there's a bunch of little things. Kanye also, when he was talking to what's his name, Nick Cannon, Kanye came out and said, yo, Drake's out here sleeping with one white. Like Kanye came out and said it one time. He came out and said it. And Kim replied to it once, and her reply was not very convincing. She was just like, that never happened, and I don't really want to talk about it, and you're silly to even accuse me of that, and I'm going to change the subject. It was just very like, so I mean, I just personally believe the last thing I will say about it, like I'm very much a Kanyeologist and a Drakeologist. The last thing I'll say about it is that Jay Prince is the one who said, yo, Drake, if you put out the diss song responding, he says it will break up families forever. It will damage families and children.
Right.
And if you do this is beyond you battling Kanye. So I was just like, yo, this is a song where Drake just come out and be like, yeah, well, I fucked Kim, so what are you going to say, Kanye? And it's like, that's like, the kids forever will be like, Like
Yeah.
those
Okay.
kids.
Okay. So yeah. So that makes a lot, of sense. All of that, like, because I was watching some stuff on YouTube or whatever about the Drake and Kanye feud, and there's a few other layers to it, like musically, that has gone throughout the years. Some like healthy competition and sparring, but then there was a part where Kanye felt that Drake was getting too big, and had to like do some certain things. And I know that there was a couple songs that Drake was supposed to be on and then wasn't on. I think it was like All of the Lights or something. What was a song that he was supposed to be
Yeah,
on?
yeah,
It
he
got cut.
originally was. Yeah, took him
And then
off.
and then vice versa. And then there was like, there was Drake had that pop style song with Jay-Z, and then the final version didn't have them like on the line,
Yep.
So it's like, oh, okay. Very,
Yeah.
very strange, man. Very strange.
That's it. And to be honest, the very last piece of evidence that I've seen in the world is Drake did an interview with LeBron James, and they
Right.
talked about it. And like Drake, he subtly smiled. He had this smirk. He's like, I'm not gonna really talk about what really happened, but he just, when you listen to what he says, he kind
Right.
of was like, "Yo, man, he's like, I have a." I have a W, like I have a card to play that I'm
Right.
not gonna play,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
like, I just, and he has this smirk. So I mean, it all like all of that's past, but it's obviously still on Kanye's mind. Kanye today is offended by it, and the thing is, it's just the Kanye story is so infuriating. I don't want to listen to him because of the ignorance things he said, and the fact that he's literally corrupting the system, trying to get on this political ballot to try to get voted in, and it's not working. Dog, you're not. Don't. You shouldn't. You're not ready to fucking run a country.
No.
Stop. So like, but and then he just put card housing, like shielding around his house, and I'm just like,
Oh snap.
yeah, his whole house. There's pictures of his house, and he put up like 10-foot white surrounding things around his entire house, and it's just like, what is going on with this man's mind?
There's a lot of mental health stuff going on for sure, and it's man, like for me, like I would never like wish any harm or bad on people, like I just hope that he can find himself in a position that he's around people, that care about him and support him, especially like culturally, you know what I mean? I can't. It troubles me to think like him being in that environment, around the Kardashian vibe and whatever, and who Kanye West is. I can just imagine the complex and the clashing that goes on in his brain, just because you're not in an environment that really understands you like that. It can go to an extent, but when you're in that, you're like literally taken out of your
identity,
and you're in this, so. And I think that contributes to like a lot of his frustrations of feeling stuck. And when people are feeling stuck, then that's when they lash out emotionally, because he's someone who has to find his freedom. So if he can't find it physically, he's going to take it to the internet. You know what I mean? So
that's it. He even said that he went to the hospital for tweeting too much.
He went to the hospital for tweeting too much?
Yeah, he's like, I don't know if it was messing with his hand or his head or something, but he was like, some of his computer use was apparently took him to the hospital. But first we have just, I got to big up Colleen. Hello, good evening, Colleen, and our longtime sister and Maria. Yo, you're so right. Like there's got to be a limit to what the Kardashians understand as far as Black culture in America, because there is no question that whether it's Kylie Jenner or Chloe, or like a lot of them take pieces of Black culture into their own life, transform it for their own reality, and then sell it, and then just kind of not really acknowledge the Black people that might have started it. So it's a mess. But the show's gonna end. We'll see what happens to TV.
Yeah, I've seen that. Like, this is their last season or whatever. So that's a wrap. So I guess we'll keep an eye out and see where hip hop takes us. I still think, man, it would be crazy if Drake released that song. But so I tried to go back to it, but because you said a few things that, like, it makes a lot of sense. Because first of all, like, Drake is a ladies' man. Like, he does what he does, man. Like, You know what I mean? If he has an eye out for a woman, he's going to get it. You know,
J-Lo, Serena
J-Lo,
Williams,
Serena Williams, like
no,
what's on, like Rihanna, like you name it, like you know what I mean? So I get that, but just like, you know, I'm talking about like the song and leave and, you know, destroying families and things of that nature, and how it would be bad for his position as well. And that does make a lot of sense, because like Drake's image and whatever, and then this song is coming from a very hurt place, a very like scorned place, and you want to come with that fire, but it's like burning on both ends. So I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I could see him going to a very disrespectful place, because, you know, that Pusha T joint, I mean, that hurts.
That was Drake's first album.
Yeah, so for him to respond off of that kind of energy, you better believe he's coming for blood. He's coming for everything.
Oh,
you know?
No, yeah, it would have. And like Jay Prince's response was, this would change Drake's career. Yeah, this would change the perception of everybody involved, and it would damage families. So that's why. And you're right, because after Addy Dawn and the blackface, like, that was Drake's first.
That was hard. Oh, man.
That was Drake's first real L.
Yeah.
Like, Drake took out.
He doesn't get L's.
He doesn't get L's. Drake actually took out Jay. Like Drake actually is the only person on the planet who said I became the new Jay-Z, and he literally can say that. Like, like. But I mean,
we'll see
got
how
a lot of
energy.
Let's jump to the other difficult relationship situation, because today is a big day in the culture. Cardi B has announced her divorce from Offset.
Crazy.
And that's big and nuts, man. What did you think when you first heard that?
You know, like, I mean, to be honest, like, I don't really follow Cardi B and an Offset like that. You know what I mean? But, you know, just here, it's just interesting, because like Cardi B was like already in media, in the news with Candice, and, you know, having conversations back and forth or whatever. So it's just interesting. Sorry?
Oh, talk about that if you had thoughts on that.
Well, yeah, no, it's just interesting, you know. So with Cardi B and Candice, you know, having, you know, very I guess like different opinions and political views, and you know, people are saying, like, you know, like Candice really just went off on Cardi B, and you know, which I can see that for sure. You know, there are some points that Candice made that I was like, okay, I understand like her angle and her spin, because, you know, Cardi B's entering her realm, her political domain, and the same tactics that you can use in hip hop are not going to be applicable in politics. So even the way how Candice is talking, very diplomatic, smooth, like, she knows what she's dealing with. She's not going to raise her voice. She's not going to become ratchet. She's not going to do none of that. You know what I mean? And just kind of like peacefully throw these darts at you, and just really show the difference in intelligence. Like that, to me, that's always like the perception that I got. It was more like her, like, let me just sit you down, little girl, and just show you what's going on. You know what I mean? Like kind of approach. But just seeing these dynamics is just really interesting. You know, when I look at, you know, two black women going at it, like, you know, I'm always just looking at, okay, like, is there a way that this could be done with grace, to have different opinions or whatever, but can we handle this in a way that doesn't make us look crazy as a community? You know what I mean? And obviously, you know, things went where it went, but, you know, it's you know, it's just an interesting thing. And like I said, like, seeing all that, and then Cardi B being like, you know, in the mix of that, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's you know, and now this divorce happens. I'm like, I don't know, like, you know, like what it all means. You know, I guess we're going to find out. You know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I love relationship information, and I watch celebrity relationships because I don't think that they're actual celebrities. I'm just like, they're human beings that have access to higher levels of money and exposure than the average person. Period. Yeah. They're just regular people. So, so I'm just like, yo, man, like, that's why I laugh when I hear things like Beyonce has stinky breath and like things like that. I'm like, yo, why? Like, it's possible that Beyonce has bad breath. She's a human being. Like, you know, like people are just people. So like, these celebrities aren't on pedestals beyond. There was a video that came out, I think, during the pandemic, where it was like Offset holding two phones. He was playing video games, and then he was holding his telephone, and like he was shouting to Cardi B or something, and somebody was like, yo, check out Offset. He's got two phones in his hand. Yo, one of his phones got to be calling his side chicks, and then one of his phones got to be like And then like I think he did something where he like slid a phone somewhere and like hit it, and people
like he hit a phone.
Yeah,
like
he hit a phone. Like there was I only saw it once, and like he did something kind of suspicious with a phone, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I was like, that does look a little suspicious. And I mean, he had the cheating. He
I was about to say that, didn't he already? And kind of like
in the beginning.
Right, and there's footage of that where like he like where they separated or whatever, and then he like came through to her like concert and like interrupted her show and was like, "Yo, like I'm sorry."
Yeah,
and I think he even called her bro, like in that whole speech too. He's like, "Yo, bro, like I'm sorry." I'm just like, "Yo, dude, interrupted her show, like just came through."
It was so whack. It was so whack.
It's like, yo, that's like the most selfish, like egotistical, like can you wait till after the show? Why you gotta make a spectacle out of it? Like,
why you gotta make a spectacle, bro? Like, it was. I'm so with you, and like, yo, him thinking that his relationship with her is more important than her fucking career. Like, I think it was like a very specific, particular thing that a female MC had never really rocked before. It was her first time. It was like Cardi, and it was the beginning of her career. It wasn't like she's done 100,000 shows, and this is
no. She's just getting started, man. Just getting started.
It was her first time, and I was like, yo, dog, like you as a rapper, you as a husband, you as an ex-boyfriend, on no level of life are you more important than her right now. And like for you to interrupt her show isn't romantic, it's whack. And then you're not even that sincere about it. So yo, I'm happy that she made the choice to separate from a man who seems not to appreciate her, and like you know, shout out to all the women out there who are going through some shit with some fuck boys, and like you know, if
it ain't easy,
it ain't easy. But if they try to come through and like meet you halfway and try to change their habits and behaviors, good on them. But if they slide back in their old ways and start cheating, cut them off.
Man. Yeah, man, gotta have that in integrity, man, transparency, and honest in those conversations. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, based on Cardi B's music and whatnot, I'm pretty sure if Offset had like an authentic conversation and really discuss certain things, like who knows what kind of compromise could have been made. Like I really feel like based on what they're about, you know what I mean? Like there shouldn't be any reason for like secrets and deception and whatnot. So
no doubt. Stuff. I mean, she was a stripper, man. Like, she's got a pretty open liberal mind towards sexuality and stuff. So
she's probably she's probably on some like, let's go find us a girlfriend or something. You know what I mean?
Like, she probably would. She probably very much would be cool with that.
Yeah. Shout out if he just came on some honest, if he's just honest, being like, yo, like, I'm kind of feeling this vibe right now, and as opposed to just being like slick, and then now look what happens.
Now look what happens. You have a daughter with her, and now you're getting divorced.
I promise that Cardi B is going to hold it down. Like she's going to make sure that
Yeah.
Anyways, hopefully it's things work out, and they keep the child first. I'm a firm believer in having the best interest of the child, so hopefully that becomes a priority, despite what the changes in the relationship dynamics become. So you gotta think about the kids, man. Wu-Tang's for the kids, man. Always.
Wu-Tang's for the kids, for real. And yo, straight up, gotta co-sign my homegirl Maria. There is nothing better than authenticity and honesty in relationships. Nothing. Truth above all.
It saves a lot of time and problems, and you know what I mean. Like it just brings clarity. You know what I mean? Like I know that being truthful and authentic in relationships, it may be uncomfortable. You know what I mean? But but in the long term and long run, it's it's golden. It's the way to go. So
yep, you're right. You're
right. But moving along on some topics, I mean, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is now going to be a drama series, man. They're having this like dark drama spin to it. They just confirmed a 2-season deal, which I think is pretty big.
Yeah,
2 seasons, that's proper. And I know I've seen the trailer, you've seen the trailer, and it looks pretty legit. Like I think there's an opportunity that they can really, dive into some real like social topics and things like which the Fresh Prince did in its own way. I mean, there's other problematic factors, but anyways,
yeah, but it was early '90s.
It was the 90s, yeah, it was the 90s, you know what I mean? But they did touch on some topics, but I think based on today's climate, what's going on, I think there's an opportunity here that they can really go into some things, you know what I mean? So it'll be really interesting to see how they play it and how they spin it. But the trailer looks proper, you know what I mean? Like
the trailer is a masterpiece, actually, to redefine the look of Bel Air and to just also like have a very high class, sophisticated environment and have all these other weird dynamics and have new people, but still the same names, Will and Hillary. And, like it's amazing to see that. And it was a really cool remix of an old timeless concept. So and it's still relevant. So like shout out to Will Smith to even co-signing it and being like putting a stamp on it.
Because I remember, I think maybe about a year and a half ago, like someone like created, I can't remember like what it was, like someone just kind of created and then like tagged Will in it and was hoping to get his recognition, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess like whatever happened, they connected, and now here they are. Like, so shout out to whoever is like behind the original concept of making it into a drama, because it just shows the power of like social media. You have an idea, you put it out there, you push it a certain way, get people to comment and whatever, and tag, and then like people will recognize it. You know, if it's good, it'll go where it needs to go. So
that's it. And like yes, like word up, Colleen. We all grew up watching that. Like I honestly, somebody was it Danny O? I think Danny O linked. He said something very interesting. Danny O goes. He linked the scene where Ben Vereen, Will's father on the show, showed up and was like, "Yeah, Will, I'm gonna call you back next week, and we gonna go out for." And like he linked that, and I watched it today, and I was crying every single time I see that scene. I cry,
man.
Like every single 20 years later, it still makes me cry. I mean, my father is gone and whatever, but like just the true. Danny O said. He had this interesting phrase. He goes, "I think Will Smith became a legitimate dramatic actor in this very scene." And,
it's true.
And it's like, yeah, you know, that's like, you know, he's been a good actor, but it's like, yeah, to be honest, that probably is the scene that really humanized Will and made people realize, like, wow, Will Smith isn't just a really good rapper and a clever comedian. Like he has real emotional depth as a human, an actor. I still cry from that. Like I cry every single time. I cry today. I'm like, oh my god, I'm still crying on it.
Yeah. Just to add to that, you know, because I saw some behind the scenes to that particular scene, and Will Smith was talking about it, like, and I think it was maybe like a shout out to James Avery, like AKA Uncle Phil or whatever, and you know, it's reminiscent, and he was like, you know, James Avery was just like that actor guy, you know what I mean? Because you can tell how his presence, like he has that theater background. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you know any theater actors, like there's a certain way they position themselves. It's like a Sidney Poitier. You know what I mean? There's a certain like stance and where they project their voice. And Will always looked up to that. You know what I mean? Because he kind of got into this like actor role just kind of like fluke. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like here's an opportunity. Let's run with it. You know?
Yeah. It was just like it's just like expand your brand. You're a rapper. Let's throw you on a TV show.
For sure. Yeah.
That's the same rapper. You're the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Like
exactly.
TV money and music money. But it's like look what happened.
And then what happened? So Will was recalling that particular moment. And when he got into, because like, you know, James Avery was always on his case about acting and just like, you know, really pressuring, you know what I mean? Trying to get him to that level, and Will get frustrated or whatever. But that particular scene, when he was all said and done in that moment, when they hugged in that moment, Will said that like James Avery whispered in his ear and said, "Yo, that's acting." You know what I mean? Like that's what he said to him at that moment. He was like, "Yo, that's acting." You know what I mean? From that moment, he was like, "Yo, like
really?
Like, you made it. You did it."
Wow!
Yes.
Wow!
Yeah.
Well, thank you for telling me that. I never knew that.
It's big. Yeah.
Wow, that is humongous. Yeah.
And when he shared that, I was like, yo, I felt that. But you're right. Every time I see that scene, man, like it hits home, man. It's way too familiar for me. Like I remember those moments of, you know, wanting to just hang out with my dad. Like didn't matter about toys, didn't matter about nothing. It was just literally just wanting to hang out. And, you know, those plans of like, yeah, I'm gonna come get you, and I'm like waiting on the stoop, like waiting for him, and it's just like, oh, he's not coming today, and it's just like, yo, and all these like broken promises of just spending quality time, and that's something that I've realized as a parent today, like. Sometimes as parents we get in our head like, yo, we got to buy these things and material things like for our kids and to show them that we love them and provide all these things that we never had. But I'm like, yo, the most important thing, the most valuable thing you can do is offer your time. That's it. Literal time. Like you know what I mean? Like my daughter, I mean, we color, you know what I mean? We go play in the park and you know what I mean, like pick up sticks and do whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Just spending that time and that's like the golden time. But that scene forever, man, every single time again gets me so emotional, man. You know what I mean? Every single time. Because the last part that gets me, and it gets me goosebumps every time, where he's just like all frustrated, where he tries to get him, it tries to play it off like he's tough, like that massive.
It was
he's like, yo, I got this. Yo, we a man. Like, it's okay.
I get girls. I can play ball.
But then he gets vulnerable and he goes like, yo, like, why doesn't he love me?
Why doesn't he want me?
What does he want? Yo,
I'm like every time I even think about it, there's a part of my mind that's like, hold your tears in. Like, it's one of the realest things ever. It's so human. It's so universal. It's so timeless.
So universal. And that is something that goes to like any culture, whatever. And that's what made that scene so powerful. And the Fresh Prince, like those moments, for sure. Yeah. So I'm excited to see that, and I hope that they kind of like reenact that scene in some kind of capacity. You know what I mean? I mean, you can't replicate it how it was though, but you can definitely play with it. I think that's an opportunity to play with.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a way that you can kind of flip it and just like kind of take elements of it, or like, I mean, you could even replay it in a certain way where Will is waiting and then the father shows up and then he disappears again, and then like just Will is affected by it in another way. He could like run up, like you could do other things with it.
Another flip is like they could have that same scene, whatever. Dude leaves and then goes up, and then somewhere down the line, because I know he was like a truck driver or whatever the case, and then maybe he like has some kind of revelation and comes back. Like, you know what I mean? There's who knows, man? There's so many ways to kind of like flip it and carry the conversation, and then maybe he comes back to Will on some like, yo, like this is what was going on in my life, and like I'm just trying to be authentic. I'm trying to be real. I know I'm not perfect, but this is where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of reminds me of that Tupac song. It's called Papa Songs, and like the first two verses is basically like Will Smith, like like angry about this absent father, and mom's having to like entertain many men and blah blah blah. But then the third verse comes in, and the father is talking from the perspective of being in jail, and talking about he was on the run and he was trying to do all these things, and that's why he wasn't around, and like you know what I mean? Like I wrote letters, but probably didn't get them, and all these different things, So I think it'll be kind of cool to give space for the father, right? Because it's easy to be like, okay, deadbeat dad or whatever. That's easy, you know what I mean? But to give opportunity to really bring, like you said, that human side, because a lot of times fathers are scared, you know what I mean? It's just like they you know what I mean? Because maybe they didn't have like the figures in life, and the fear of like messing up, and the fear of thinking that, you know what, maybe this child's better off like without me in their life, right? Because I'm already wild, you know what I mean? So who knows? But nevertheless, I think it's an important topic, and I think they can really bring it home in the new drama. So
for real, you said it, and I wanna switch it up a little, but Colleen, you're saying your mom's 84 and that's the best gift, sharing time, like that is that's real. Like I just talked to my mom, who she's not 84, but she's in her 60s. She's getting older, and she's getting ready to move back to Jamaica. She's like, I'm done with Canada. I'm retiring. And
yeah, man.
yes, my mom's on her way out, and it's like back home, and it's anytime I get to spend with her is phenomenal. And I have to be honest, I told her last week, it broke me. I cried just sending the text. Because I told my mom, I was like, Mom, when Chadwick Boseman died, my mom was passing through from Jamaica to go back to Edmonton. So when Black Panther was out, she came and she was in town for 24 hours. And I was like, Mom, I'm taking you to Black Panther and we are going. I was like, I'm being rude and obnoxious. I'm dragging you to the theater and we're watching this together. So like my mom was like, I'm not, I don't know really too much about comics, whatever. By the end of the movie, my mom's like, yo, this is great. Where's the sequel? She was totally into it. And like watching Black Panther with my mom was one of my all-time super favorite memories in my own life. So just having that time with my mom and just sharing it, and just like even like that, thanks to Chadwick Boseman, to just like like it's just an eternal gift. But I'm saying all that to say to the moms and the aunties and the just the mothers out there. I wanted to big up the verses that happened with Gladys Knight. Gladys Knight.
Well, Patti LaBelle was
Patti LaBelle.
Woo!
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Again, and at the very end, Dionne Warwick came in.
Oh, snap! Okay.
And it was like, oh my god, yo,
that's a vibe, man. That's a vibe.
Yo, and like there was a few moments where they dropped these enormous jewels. Patti LaBelle is like, she's like, yeah, I've been in the music business 60 years.
Woo!
60 years.
Like, hold on. Like 60 years.
60 years. You're like, yo, you just gotta like the things you.
That's all. Yo, she needs a statue. Like, what up? Like
yo, man, like straight up. So just like these, somebody wrote it. It wasn't like disrespectful, but it was a little harsh. But it's like, I guess so. They were like, yo, mad salute to these women. Patti LaBelle's like 64. Both of them are like the same age, and they were like in their 70s, and they're like, yo, peep out all the legends who, like, you know, Michael Jackson died, Prince died in 57, Michael's like, and all these people who never made it even to 50 or 40 or 30.
Yeah, crazy.
Like, wow, crazy. These two queens made it to 77. Gotta appreciate that.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, but
incredible, man. Incredible, yo. Man, love, man.
So, is anything else? Anything? I got a few things here. I
think that's pretty much it for today, man. You know, we'll save some more jewels next time.
Yes.
But with this bag of this flyers, man, I'm curious to know like what kind of events gonna pop up. Man, hope it's like a classic one. See what we got. Thanks to all our guests we got. Yes, man. Big up everybody. Big up Colleen. Big up Maria. Who's the other one on? I can't scroll up right now.
All I saw was a D, but it was
shout out D. Big up.
All right, there you go. Oh, I already pulled that one out before.
Juicy J.
There's some doubles.
Yeah, man, I will never, man. Juicy J was probably one of the funnest concerts I ever witnessed. Like, that guy was really turned up, man. Like, he is what he says he is. He was really turned up, man. Like,
word.
The whole crowd was going nuts. Like, it was crazy, man.
Oh my God.
You gotta shuffle that bag a little better, yo.
I know. This is. I pulled out things that I literally have pulled out all of these before. This bag is huge. I have a couple doubles, but
you gotta go down to the bottom, man. You gotta like.
Yeah. Okay, there's this one. Oh, it's a two-sided
snap. Okay.
Yeah,
and I see you got the edges ripped off. I mean,
you know.
Like if you know, you know.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, it's for real. That's sometimes you gotta grab a handful of flyers and be like, all right.
Flyers are the best, yo. What do you mean? It's the perfect like thickness.
Yeah. You're like, all right. Well, a couple of them are for memories. A couple of them are for like. So, yo, this Raekwon.
What was this? June. Where was that?
This was at the Rock Pile. Yeah.
The Rock Pile. That's over. That was on that spot on Bathurst, right? Was it Bathurst?
No, the Rock Pile was. The Rock Pile was near Kipling Station.
I definitely wasn't there.
Yeah. You know, the funny thing was, I didn't see Raekwon at this show. I saw Raekwon at the show he did before it at the Sound Academy, where his dudes beat up Joe Budden. But I was at this show. And I don't know if people remember it, the Most Def show at the Phoenix. I actually hosted.
That was one that you hosted. No, I was there.
Yeah. You're there. Yeah,
and I think that was one of like Most Def's like last show. Or I can't remember. Like he was. What was happening at the time again? Like I feel like he was just going to Africa or something along the. I can't remember what it was. Like
I'm not too sure. Most Def has performed in Toronto since this show. I think this might have been his last show.
And wasn't he already known as Yassine Bey at that point? But I think they just put most just so people can recognize or whatever.
Yes, you're right. It was the
Right.
beginning of the Yassine Bey era.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah.
And in this show, it was an experience. He came out at 2:45 in the morning. 2:45. And a lot of the venue had already cleared out. A lot of people were like, yo, man, I don't care who is rapping. I'm not waiting until after 2 a.m. to see a headliner. Like, this isn't dancehall reggae, wagwan. So, like, so Mos Def comes out at 2:45 in the morning. I was like, I lived close, so I was like, I'll stick around and watch the show. But he comes out, and he doesn't even start rapping. He comes out, and he's holding a big bouquet of roses, and he has a nice beat come on, and then he just starts walking in the front of the crowd, handing out roses to people. Handing out roses.
I think you know what? I think I might have left. Like, I'm pretty sure I left. Now that I think about it.
Yeah. I think you might have left it. So, like, there was a lot of people who were like, what is this?
Yeah, what's happening? Yeah.
He spent the first 10 minutes when he was very, very late just handing out roses. I was like, this man gives zero fucks about.
He's like, I'm just going to do my thing.
Yeah, he was like, I'm in the zone.
Yeah. Wow.
So it was a very interesting Yassine Bey experience, and that was the last time I saw him.
Yeah, shout out Yassine Bey, man. I know. Hopefully that Black Star album comes out somehow, but I don't know. But on another note, that story, the 2 a.m. 45 story reminds me of seeing Movado in concert back when Rebel was known as the Sound Academy.
Mm-hmm.
And he came on much later than Mos Def. This guy came on like 4 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
What?
Like bars done closed. People are well sober at this point. And he just eventually came through. But I'll give him credit because when he came through, he did put on a show. But half the people already left, though. There's still a lot of people who stuck around because they're just diehard Movado fans. And this is like in this peak. So people had a little more tolerance and patience.
Yeah.
But yo, it was insane. I'm like, yo, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Like the venue probably has to like deal with all kinds of like fire codes and who knows what goes on, you know what I mean? But anyways, but when artists do that, it's just kind of insane, man. So
4 a.m. I have never seen a concert start at 4 a.m.
Yeah. Last call done, locked off. Like people are just like sober now, and it's like it's not even like a jam. Like
I spent all my liquor money, dog. Like it's for real.
Yeah, man.
Like, straight up sober.
These are the experiences that we do coming to concerts. I'm hoping that this COVID business can shift things up so we can get back to the concert business. Because I know me and you, when we love being backstage, we love hanging out with artists, we love being in an environment. It's my self-care. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. I know what you're saying with all my heart.
Like me and you are the type that roll up to shows solo. You know what I'm saying? It's like we don't need cosigns. We just do our thing, man.
Like I'm trying to find this thing. I had a picture. I don't know where my phone is right now, but I had this picture. I'll see it, man.
It's all good.
No, hold on. I got it right here. But yeah, this picture, I just posted it yesterday, and this picture, all I did was post. I miss concerts very much so. And oh my God, this picture, it just captures my energy. This damn thing, so many damn things on my phone. I like this. Sorry, this is taking forever, but it just. I when I saw the picture, it was from Scratch Bastard's concert, and it made me realize concerts are really my safe space besides lovemaking. Like there's two places in the world where I'm really myself. One of them is when I'm making love, and the other is the other of them is when I'm dancing. And
jeez,
like I just
rapping lyrics, but like with your heart. I see you, man. I see you. Yo, you and your brother too, by the way. Like
yeah. I mean, I don't like to say it, but I kind of do believe it. Sometimes I put on a better show than the performer, and I'm like, I feel like I love your songs more than you do right now.
Yo,
Like,
I remember. Sorry, man, just to kind of go off of it, but you're right though. Like sometimes it's watching you in your zone, and like you like close your eyes, and you're just so rapping the lyrics. Like sometimes better than the actual artist. Sometimes like the artist needs you to like help them remember their lyrics.
yo, it's real, and it's so real. I had one moment when it warms my heart. My promoter, promoter guy of mine brought Fife Dog. And when he brought Fife Dog, I was rhyming with Fife Dog at Tattoo Rock Tattoo, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm in front row with Fife Dog, we're rhyming, and it's dope. I can say that I've performed as Q-Tip with Fife Dog doing Check the Rhyme, and I've performed as Fife Dog with Q-Tip performing Check the Rhyme. I literally, both of them, I've been the other dude, seeing them perform. And when the guy drove Fife Dog home, Fife Dog told him, he goes, yo, whoever that guy was in the front row rapping my lyrics, he really helped me through my show because I couldn't remember my lyrics. Like,
that's peace, man.
So like, oh,
well, shout out to the safe spaces that we have, man. And hopefully, man, we can definitely, get back to the concert vibes. But until then, I know you got the love making piece to, what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. I feel you, bro.
I tried. Oh my God. Man, after all this, where's this damn picture? This is one of my favorite all-time pictures I've ever taken. I'm trying to find
scrolling, man. Just keep scrolling.
Okay, yo. Is there anything else you want to talk about while
we good, man. That's pretty much it for the vibe, man. Usually we keep it to half an hour, man. We're almost at an hour right now, man. So we just been vibing, yo. So we good. So we got there. It's kind of, I don't know if the glare. Okay, I see you with no shirt on. Oh, there we go. Oh, was that like a manifesto or something? Where is this?
This was at This was actually at what's his name?
Scratch Bastard. Yeah, what was his barbecue thing that he has, like in the summertime, right?
Scratch Bastard's barbecue with Smith and Wesson.
Oh snap! I remember that actually. Yeah,
Smith and Wesson was there, and yeah, I just said I miss concerts more than words can say, and like this is just,
that's it. That's you and your elements. You know what I mean? Like
that's when I saw this picture,
like front row. You feel me?
yeah. That's one of my. I have a few nicknames, and Mr. Front Row is one of my favorite. And like I saw this picture, and I was like, "Yo, man!" It just gave me that flashback to that the time, man.
Yeah.
I just saw the last update. Somebody said we might not have a vaccine officially till 2024 for the world. I mean, that's a harsh timeline. But they also said we might not go back to normal until the end of 2021.
Right.
So it's like if we got another year of no concerts, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
But
well, we got to keep the faith, man. And as creative peoples, we always find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way, and things evolve and move into new spaces. And we just got to keep the faith, keep doing what we're doing, and reminisce
on the past and bring it into the future.
That's it, man. Saying Kofa, man. We always got to keep it to the African traditions, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Afrocentric ways of life, holistic ways of life.
Yes.
I mean, ways of life that are in sync with our planet. So that's what's up.
That's it. Last shout out, Colleen, our new guest, Maria. Thank you for being here with us, Colleen. I was trying to get to Paris, trying to get to Europe. It's not a good time to travel right now. Obviously, second wave is about to creep back in, but we gotta just keep the faith. And they got through a pandemic 100 years ago without an internet. So imagine how bored they must have been.
Wow. Crazy, yo.
Yeah.
All right, man. On that note, give thanks always.
Give thanks to everyone with us, and we will see you next week, 2 p.m. at 7 Tuesday at 7 p.m.
That's it, man. Peace, y'all.
Peace. Maria, enjoy your stolen from Africa gear.